It's one of the founding members of the NFL versus its youngest franchise. Two young quarterbacks, two defensive-minded head coaches, one matchup for Sunday Night Football. The roof will be open at NRG Stadium as the Texans look to move to 2-0 with their home opener on deck against the Chicago Bears. Here are the do and don'ts to this matchup if the Texans want to move to 2-0 on the season. Don't let DJ Moore dominate this game. DJ Moore is the best wide receiver on the Bears. He's the best offensive player that they have, and he's the only healthy wide receiver of note for the Bears. He was supposed to combine with Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze, two additions this offseason for the Bears, to make a three-headed monster that could maybe challenge what the Texans have in Stefon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. The only problem with that is Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze are both banged up, listed as questionable, and even if they go, I don't love their chances to have a big impact in this game. That leaves DJ Moore. The number one wideout for a rookie quarterback is extremely important, and I can't imagine the Bears want to line Moore up against Derek Stingley very often in this matchup. So what is he going to do? He's going to move around a little bit. He's going to go against Kamari Lassiter. They'll try to get some matchup issues for the Texans defense. And hey, if Alec Pierce and Ashton Doolin can have big plays against this Texans secondary, the Bears have to think that their guy, DJ Moore, can do the same. Now, the thing is as you challenge the Texans on the stuff that didn't go well for them in the last game, you got to think they've done a pretty good job of trying to clean that up. The Bears have a couple of other wide receivers, nothing quite as talented as Odunze, who probably won't play, and if he does, won't be 100%. Keenan Allen, who seemingly won't be 100% even if he does play. It's DJ Moore or bust for moving the football for this Bears team. Don't let DJ Moore dominate this game, and the Texans will be just fine. Don't feed the Bears. You've heard this at the zoo. It applies to Sunday Night Football as well. Don't feed the Bears. All right, what am I talking about? Well, the Tennessee Titans fed the Bears in the second half of their game last week against Chicago, and the Bears walked away with a victory. It was a 17-3 Titans lead at halftime. In the second half, the Bears scored off of a blocked punt for a touchdown returned by former Texans safety Jonathan Owens, and they also scored off of a field goal after Will Levis fumbled. Then Will Levis threw a pick six the next time the Titans had the football. The Bears took the lead, never gave it back, and then Will Levis threw an interception to finish the game. The Bears were totally out of this game if the Titans just took care of the football. Don't feed the Bears, okay? The Titans fed the Bears and fed them well. It was a feeding frenzy. Will Levis was like the salmon upstream, and the Bears were just ripping it out of the stream. Blocked punt touchdown, fumble that turns into a field goal, pick six, interception in the game. That was a tasty meal for the Bears. On Sunday Night Football, don't feed the Bears. Don't make mistakes. Don't have a blocked punt like the Texans suffered in week one. I got to imagine special teams coordinator Frank Ross has got that more than cleaned up. So don't have a blocked punt. Don't turn the football over like CJ Stroud almost did a couple of times in that first one. A player coming down out of bounds, and a penalty kept him from having either of those turnovers. Don't give the Bears an opening, and they don't have the ability to stay toe-to-toe with this Texans team. Don't feed the Bears. Don't feed the Bears at the zoo either. That'd be the dangerous endeavor for you. We've all seen Anchorman. A moment here for my friends at PrizePicks, the best and easiest way to play daily fantasy. You don't want to miss out on the fantastic offer that you see below. Play your first 5 and get $50 right there into your account. You don't even have to win your first entry. You just need to play it, and you'll get that $50 bonus. Let's put one together, shall we? PrizePicks, so easy. You find the NFL tab. You search out the player you want. I want Caleb Williams here, and I'm going to the interception tab. I believe the rookie against D'Amico Ryans is definitely going to throw an interception, so we're going to put him into my entry. I liked what Diggs brought to the table last week. 5 receptions, the easiness to get going over the middle for Stefon Diggs against this Bears team. I like that one as well. Nico Collins not in the end zone last week. but I do like Nico Collins to get in the end zone this week. Pretty simple to put together. Let's start with 5 and a fun one here for us. The power play will get us 6.25 on our entry. Let's go ahead and lock that power play in. Get our entry together over on PrizePicks. Successfully submitted that lineup. Look how easy it is. Play your first 5. Get $50 in bonus. Use the code STOOTS, STOOTS, at the link in the description down below. It's that easy. The best and easiest way to play daily fantasy with my friends at PrizePicks. And do impose your will if you're the Houston Texans. They did the very thing on the ground that I just said last week against the Colts. They imposed their will. Joe Mixon, the 5 big uglies up front, and I say that affectionately, went out there and rattled off one of the most impressive rushing performances that we've seen in the history of this franchise, one of the best ones in years. They're going to need to try to do that again against the Chicago Bears. Now, against the Bears, it may not be as easy as it looked against the Indianapolis Colts last week. While I like the Colts overall front 7, like their top end talent more than the Bears were the NFL's best in rush yards allowed last year. Now they gave up 140 to the Titans last week, 36 or so of that from Will Levis's legs. CJ Stroud can move a little bit. He's not going to do it like Will Levis did it last week, but still over 100 rushing yards to Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard, along with that Titans offensive line. It's an okay performance from the Bears, but they probably could have been better. It's a step up with the Texans offensive line and Joe Mixon running the football. It will be an opportunity for the Texans offense to impose their will with that rushing attack once again. And oh, by the way, if you don't have Juice Scruggs, Jared Patterson filled in really well at center last year when he was tasked with playing as a rookie. Patterson looks to be a little bit stronger this year. So Scruggs or Patterson, I'm not too worried about a drop-off depending on who the center is. I still believe you can impose your will as the Texans on offense with whoever the center is in the matchup on Sunday night. On the defensive line of this thing, they get in there from the middle, heat up young quarterbacks up the middle. A guy like Caleb Williams, he's got a little bit of that escapability, extend the play. I call it the drift. Really good QBs can drift and let plays just go and develop. We saw CJ Stroud do it last week against the Indianapolis Colts. Caleb Williams can do that. I mean, he did it a whole heck of a lot in college. This isn't USC in the Pac-12, but he can drift, keep a play alive, and he doesn't really look to run. He looks to get rid of the football once he's rolling around and extending a play, try to find one of those wide receivers or his tight end, Cole Kmet, who's a pretty decent player. But if you heat him up the middle, there's no opportunity for him to drift. And these tackles and interior offensive linemen that the Bears have, pretty solid, but not the Indianapolis Colts. So you should see Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter have a little bit more success than they did last week. And I'd expect Foley Fatukasi and Mario Edwards, those 2 interior defensive linemen at defensive tackle for the Texans, to have some nice performances as well on this one. You impose your will with a pass rush and the running game, and this one should be a nice, tidy, wrapped up affair by the middle of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter. But if you feed the Bears, if you let DJ Moore dominate this game, the Bears could hang around and make this one a bit more of a contest. On paper, it looks like a big Texans win to me, but why we play the football game, of course. Looked like a big win on paper to me last week for the Texans against the Colts. And well, it got a little dicey there because the Texans made some mistakes, allowed some big plays, fix those things, and the Bears won't be close on the scoreboard for Sunday Night Football. What say you? The do's, the don'ts to this matchup? Let me know in the comment section down below. On your way down there, throw me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out Autograph. Autograph is a free-to-download app that puts all of your Texans content in one place. The more you read, listen, and watch about the Texans, the more you get rewarded. With Autograph, you earn coins that can then turn into rewards like discounts on tickets, free ticket raffles, and so much more. Plus, the ticketing app through Autograph, never any fees. It's an app for real fans to get real big rewards, and it is free. Use my code STOOTS, STOOTS, at the link in the description down below to download Autograph. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I can't wait until we talk Texans again soon. If you're here for the football, that's it. If you're here for a food review, though, it's coming your way right now. If you like the food reviews, you've been waiting patiently, and I appreciate you waiting patiently for the food reviews. I got a twofer for you. Two different items to review here on the food reviews. And if you know me, you know I love a Coke Zero. My favorite. I love drinking Coke Zeros. I love Oreos. They're a great little snack. You just grab a couple of Oreos, really gets your sweet tooth satiated. Now, I found out that my friends at Coke and Oreo had slammed those two things together in not only a cookie, but a Coke Zero. So I've got an Oreo Coke Zero to try. I've also got the Coke Zero Oreos. So quite the endeavor here. You'll get two different scores on this one. Let's start with the beverage. Get you a nice crack here. All right. So here's the big thing to know about beverages. Some beverages are meant to be sipped, some beverages are meant to be gulped, and sometimes it can change the flavor. Let's see if there's a big difference here on the Oreo Coke Zero. Okay, initial smell here, because sometimes these flavored drinks has like a unique smell to it. Initial smell, just like a vanilla Coke. Let's see what a little sip here of this Oreo Coke Zero tastes like. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's real. Oh, that's good. Okay, here's what you initially get when you have a sip of the Oreo Coke Zero. You get that sort of chocolate cookie flavor almost a little bit at the beginning. Then it kind of moves into your Coke Zero flavor, and then it finishes with a little sweetness, which would, I guess, be the cream of the Oreo. So, man, it tastes like they just crunched up an Oreo and dropped it right into this thing. Let's take a little bit of a bigger sip and see if it maybe changes the flavor a little bit. Okay, when you get a big sip, you get the inverse. You get a little bit of the sweetness, and I wonder if maybe the carbonation makes the sweetness a little bit more prevalent. You get the sweetness early on, and then you get the cookie finish when you take a gulp. So a different flavor versus sip and gulp. So that's pretty intriguing. I like that, man. I like that. We're going to give both of them the score at the end here. Let's try the Coke Zero Oreos. Now, these are going to be a different color cookie on each side. Okay, let's take a little. Oh, oh my gosh. That smell is pungent. It's not bad. It doesn't smell like your typical Oreos. You know what it smells like? It smells like a Coke Icy. Okay, and as you see here, the cookies are going to have a red side, your typical Oreo side, and then the cream filling. I don't know if you can see the details in here. Those are like candy rocks or pop rocks, I guess is the best way you would say it, to sort of mimic the carbonation of a Coke. So this is a Coke Oreo. I love the design here. Do they have the different designs on the? Yeah, some of them have the Coke logo. Okay. Some of them have Coca-Cola, and then you got the two Coke bottles. Let's give this a little try here. Wait. Cleanse the palate with some water. Get rid of that Coke Zero Oreo drink and try the Oreo Coke cookie collaboration. Let's give it a shot here. Okay. It's okay. It's very much not your traditional Oreo. It very much does not taste like a traditional Oreo. I don't know if I needed the Pop Rocks in there. It has kind of it's almost like a medicine-y finish. The Candy Rocks don't really, I mean, there's not enough of them to mimic carbonation. Now, that's taking a couple bites of the Oreo. That's not typically how I need an Oreo. Usually, I go one Oreo at a time. Here we go. I don't think I like that. I don't think I dislike it, but I don't think I like that. Like, I would not reach I would not reach for one of these over a regular Oreo. Um, they're a nice novelty. That non-Oreo flavor. It's almost like a cherry. It almost tastes like a muted cherry there at the beginning. I don't think I like that. Let's go ahead and score the Oreo Coca-Cola sandwich cookie. The collaboration between Oreo and Coca-Cola. The scale is 1 to 11, 11 being the greatest food of all time. 1 being, I probably would have spit it out if it was a 1. It's not quite a 1. The cookie, I'm going to give that one that's going to be a 5.8. I can't in good conscience take that over regular Oreo. I can't choose that over regular Oreo. Now, Oreo Coke Zero. Let me get one more little shot of this here before I give that score. I would be very interested to try this in a Coke float with some vanilla ice cream, because then you get like a Oreo vanilla Coke or Oreo vanilla Coke float. That would be pretty good. That one's much better. It doesn't replace a regular Coke Zero for me. It doesn't replace a cherry Coke Zero, which is my favorite, or even some of the other diet drinks. We're going to go with a 8.8 for the Oreo Coke Zero. It is worth trying. I don't know that I would buy like a 6-pack of these or a 12-pack or like an 8-pack of the small cans. It's worth trying one of these 20-ounces here. You grab it when you're checking out. You try it when you get in the car. It's worth trying. It would not be in the regular rotation for me, but it's a nice, unique, limited time flavor. The Oreo Coke Zero, an 8.8, I think is what I said. On that one, Oreo cookies, you can probably skip that one or share it with a bunch of friends. It's a nice, unique novelty, but not a must-try by any means. Appreciate you watching the food review, and I've already got one lined up for next week, so stay tuned for that and so much more Texans coverage on the channel. Appreciate you watching.